So now, what about when we were talking about like chumminess and like sort of like the hidden rules? What about if you do right-wing talk shows? Like if you're a Democrat and you decide to go on Tucker Carlson, for instance, like what is that like?
It ranges from people kind of like giving you a cynical look, like whose side are you really on, to people just outright ending that friendship or that professional relationship because they don't want to have anything to do with you.
Have you experienced that?
Over and over.
Really?
Over and over. And it's not just Tucker Carlson. There's been this negative stigma for almost as long as I've served in Congress against anyone who actually goes on Fox News, period. And so you could say, like, and I do, I was like, hey, more people watch Fox News than any other cable news channel. So my audience is speaking to the American people. If I have the opportunity to do that, and by the way, Fox News, more than CNN and MSNBC over the last decade, has been more fair to me in providing me that opportunity to speak to the American people, I'm going to take advantage of it.
Well, it seems like one of the things that Fox News does well is if they have a Democrat on, they don't attack them. They allow them to express themselves.
That's right.
Which is interesting.
Whether the host agrees or disagrees,
right.
That's not the point.
Because when a right-wing person seems to be, if they're on MSNBC or if they're on CNN, it's like they have these weapons ready to go, the blades are sharp, and they attack. And they're trying to discredit that person, trying to mock them. They will talk over them. They will be rude to them. They will mock whatever position they have. And instead of like trying to offer some sort of a reasonable debate against it, they will talk over it and mock it. And they'll bring on another expert, and that person talks over it.
Yeah.
It's
It's not even limited to those who bring like a so-called right-wing perspective or conservative perspective. It's really anyone who brings a voice, a view, a perspective that is different from whatever the mainstream narrative is at that point, whatever the cause of the day may be. And so as a Democrat serving in Congress, I experienced that over and over and over again, exactly that reaction that you're talking about. In not allowing me at least just to come and present my view. They can ask me a tough question. They can present an opposing view. That's great. But so many times I've gone on these different shows and they don't even allow that. And it really just speaks to what is really a dangerous mentality amongst the Democratic Party leadership and kind of this establishment narrative in Washington, which is they don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in freedom of speech or freedom of thought. And for anyone who brings an opposing view, they choose to shut you up, silence you, smear you, try to ruin you, or undermine your character and credibility. Because they don't want the weakness or the insecurity of their own argument to be exposed, and also they immediately judge you as someone who may bring an opposing view, regardless of your political party, as the enemy, as a threat, as somebody who is less than and doesn't deserve a voice, which is really, really dangerous for our democracy when you really think about it.
Yeah, it's very spooky, and it's spooky how prevalent that mindset is. And how many Democrats, not even just politicians, just people that are Democrats, how many people share that position that you should silence people that you don't agree with? And it's such a foolish perspective. And it plays out historically over and over and over again in a terrible way. And I just don't understand why people don't learn that lesson.
I think that the Democratic Party leaders, people like Hillary Clinton, people who've been in charge for a very long time, foment this kind of culture of fear and like, hey, if you go against us, like you're dead, you're on the shit list. You have kind of the very loud activists and who don't represent, I think, even the majority of the Democratic Party, but the AOCs of the world, who are almost like these radical religious zealots. And they are ideologues, and whatever they choose is the battle of the day.
Yes.
If you are against them on that, forget it.